So let me show you why it was leaking. I got it out. What I did was I pinched through hose clamps, pulled it apart, and when I pulled the back half of it out, I don't know if I broke it while I was pulling it out because I had hold of it and was doing like this and it broke, but still, it should not be like that. Out here in the garage, out here in the driveway today working on the Q, it just hit 157,000 miles, so it's getting to that point where goofy things are happening. I had noticed, Steve and I did the transfer case fluid and we're getting ready to do the transmission fluid, but I noticed there was like coolant running down from like the top of the motor down to the transmission pan and stuff. I went up here and got to investigate, and apparently it's a common issue on these cars that this is your heater hose, and it is two rubber hoses with a plastic coupler in the middle. Apparently it's very common for these to break. I know on my 350Z that was where the bleeder was, and it would crack and break, and Z1 actually makes a adapter that goes in there that is metal, and you can use that, or you can use it as a place to put a water temperature sensor. But I bought a metal one. It's brass. There's a stainless one and a brass one. One's by Daco, and I don't know who made the other one. Dorman maybe. One's like $5 and the other one's like $11, but they're available at Advance. Steve's got it. We're going to change it from the pinchy hose clamps to an actual like ring gear. Get this out. It doesn't look like it should be hard, but the problem is going to be getting in there to get rid of those pinch clamps. I also sprayed a little bit of penetrant fluid in there, that way where the plastic piece is, that way when I go take the hoses off it'll be easier, and I'll just slide the new one in, put the hose clamps on, I'll top it back off. While we're in today, we're also going to do the thermostat. That way I should only have to open this up one time, do the thermostat, replace that, fill it up, drive it up in the road and bleed it, and my cooling system should be good. So like I said, Steve's gonna get some hose clamps. I'm gonna get in there and fight with those, and then we'll go from there. I'm gonna go over the parts I'm gonna be using to do this. You do whatever you want to. Like I said, there are two parts available. This is the Daco part. 80423 Advance had it in stock. It was, like I said, it was like $4. I gave him a 5 and he gave me like 12 cents. There is a Dorman brand, it's stainless, and it was like 11 or 12 bucks. I'm also gonna convert, like I said, to regular hose clamps when I get in there. I sprayed a little bit of PB Blaster, like I said, to help get it. And I'm gonna try and use channel locks or needle nose to get it loose. But there are no real special tools required for this. And you'll get some coolant. This is Japanese blue, Asian blue, Nissan 2009 and up. So that's all you need. Shouldn't be a hard job. I say that, but it's probably gonna take me like 2 hours. So let me show you why it was leaking. I got it out. What I did was I pinched through hose clamps, pulled it apart, and when I pulled the back half of it out, I don't know if I broke it while I was pulling it out because I had hold of it and was doing like this and it broke, but still, it should not be like that. So now we'll get the other piece back in and we'll go from there. I know it's dark, I hope y'all can see, but we're going to that hose right there. Steve got a flashlight, I've got a flashlight.
I never heard what you said.
I said, you got a flashlight? I think I've got a flashlight. Cool. So that hose right there, and it has a second half. What I did to get it out of the way was I tucked it down out of the way. It is right there. And like I said, I got one hose clamp off. I'm gonna replace it. I'm gonna try and see if I can get that other one off and replace it with a regular hose clamp, and I'll get that piece of brass back in. What you can do is, if you have trouble getting the brass to go in, you can either put a little bit of WD-40 or a little bit of coolant on it and just weasel it in. So both hose clamps are off. It's easier to get them off once you get everything apart, because then you can hold it and pull it up. So now we'll replace it with these two. Make sure you put these on first. Go ahead and put them on now, because you know, once you get back together, it's really hard to get these on. So put these on, the hoses, get them aligned, then we'll put the thing in, the brass piece. So I got both clamps on, I got the brass thing in. What I did was I backed up here, that way in case it starts dripping or leaking, we can see, we can tell if it's that or this. And I put a gallon in,
That's going to take a little bit more than a gallon. So I'm going to watch right here for leaks. And I'm going to find that back here. And then what's under the car too. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get another gallon of coolant and put some more in.
So the way I recommend doing this is start your car and turn it on defrost, full blast, full temperature. Defrost up here. Okay. Turn it on defrost, okay? Full temperature, 82, whatever it'll go to, okay? And you'll feel it. Feel it till it gets hot. Watch your temperature gauge. When that gets to where it normally is, that should be hot, okay? And just keep checking for drips. Okay. What I've done is fill this up until it's about there. See these bubbles coming out. Once that thermostat opens, it should suck this dry. This thermostat opens, it should pull this in. Okay? So just watch this. When it gets to the point where it starts coming up, take it out, get the cap on. If you've done this a few times, you'll know what to watch for. The bubbles is where it's actually taking it down. So we'll just watch this. And we'll watch our temperature gauge for that, and also you can feel when this hose starts getting warm. So if this hose is warm, but this hose isn't, that means your thermostat's not working. This hose actually gets warm. So let this run for a minute and see how much I can get some coolant out there. So I should be getting ready to get Heat inside. Real quick, Steve and I appreciate you watching this video. We hope it helps you get this job done today. If you can take a second of your time and hit that like and that subscribe button, it helps us make more videos like this. And the more these videos I get to make, the less I have to go to my day job. So, appreciate it. So I've let it run, do its thing. Coolant started coming up out of here. You can see some coolant come up. Fill it up. And when it was done, jerked the funnel out, shot the cap on. I went ahead and filled this up too. And it was bubbling. You can see it in there bubbling and moving. There's no leaks yet. And I actually got in here. I'm starting to get a little bit of heat. But if you rev the engine, it gets hotter, which means it's working the air out. So I don't recommend driving this just yet. Just give it a few revs. It's getting hot. So, like I said, rev it a little bit. I'm gonna let it sit for maybe 3 or 4 minutes and run. Keep an eye on the temperature gauge. Keep an eye out here, make sure it's not leaking. Be careful if I stuck my hand back there around to feel on that hose in the back. And that is a brass piece, so it will be hot. So, and then I went back and tightened the hose clamps a little bit more too. So we're just gonna let it run. And then since this is the highest point, any air that comes up should go down in there and go into here. If you're watching, you see some bubbles, or you see it go down, it means it's either taking coolant or there's air coming out. So the air goes in and coolant should go back in. But I filled up the max, it's already come down this much. So I don't see any moisture coming out of the thermostat. Like I said, I don't see any drips coming out back there. So we'll let it run for a few more minutes. Put this back, and that's it. 2 easy fixes. I would recommend this is a good time if you want to drain your radiator, drain it, and then you don't have to deal with all that. But I mean, it's whatever. But hindsight is 20/20. Drain your radiator before you go and do this. That back there is not that bad. And the other thing too is, I know this sounds weird, I didn't have that closed off, so I started putting coolant in, because I was like, oh, that's like a high point back there. No, I got like halfway putting coolant in here, and it was coming out back there, which is odd. So, but to me, that would be the high point, so it should be last. But like I said, defrost, full heat, full temperature, just let it run. And watch your temperature gauge. Watch your temperature gauge. That's it. Just going down a little bit more. That's it.